What's going on, guys? This is Miasin. So not too long ago, I did a live stream on Despia, and I was playing a few games online trying to master this deck because I kind of had no experience with it, and I wanted to see how good it really was. And I came across this incredible game against Altergeist that, I'm not gonna spoil it, but goddamn, it was a good one. So, before we get into the in-depth analysis of this game, make sure you like and subscribe, check me out on Twitch and Instagram. Let's try to get this video to 1,000 likes. I will be making more analysis videos of freaking replays and stuff like that, and I could also analyze your replays if you guys really want me to do that. And now let's jump right into it. So, my opening hand is Altergeist Mercourier, Fright for Patchwork, Double Edgem Chain, Effect Veiler, and I'm playing against Solemn Judgment, Protocol, Double Strike, and Personal Spoofing. So my opponent's hand is incredible. It's Altergeist Multi-Faker Access with 3 counter traps, and I have absolutely nothing at all. I don't even have a Luber or Branded Opening or Branded Fusion, nothing. So my opponent goes set 5 pass, and I draw Polymerization for turn. Absolute garbage. So obviously my first play is going to be Fright for Patchwork, and my opponent is going to be flipping the Protocol into Spoofing. To search the Multi-Faker, he can actually special summon it right away, and he's going to obviously be summoning the Silquiltis. So now I'm actually in a position where I have a 100% chance to lose if my opponent plays perfectly. So my only play, my absolute only play, is to summon Guardian Chimera, but I need at least 1 monster on the field to summon the Guardian Chimera. And that's kind of an issue. So I'm going to have to rely on this set monster to not get bounced back when I activate Polymerization. And it actually goes through. My opponent does not bounce back my Edgem Chain, so I can fuse for Guardian Chimera using 3 monsters with different name, being Effect Veiler, Altergeist Mercourier, and Edgem Chain. And that's going to be a Guardian Chimera that actually chain blocks. So Solemn Strike is not too great here, and Altergeist Silquiltis is not great anymore because Guardian Chimera cannot be targeted by card effects when you have Polymerization in your grave, and that's the beauty of the Fright for engine. It makes your Guardian Chimera even more annoying. Even Forbidden Chalice going second will no longer be enough, and that's probably the main reason why people are playing that package. But again, I got super unlucky, right? And I still managed to make a Guardian Chimera that might be drawing me 2 good cards that could change things up. So, of course, thanks to the chain blocking, I'm going to be able to fully resolve through those counter traps and draw Branded Opening. Not too bad, not too bad. And I'm going to be jumping over the Silquiltis still in battle phase. Branded Opening, discard my Fright for Patchwork because it can no longer search. I already have my 2 Polymerization and my 3 Edgem Chain. I get Solemn Strike on the Aluber. It is what it is. I can't really do anything about that. And my last play is going to be setting a Branded Opening so that I could potentially summon my second copy of Aluber on my opponent's turn. Now my opponent is going to be drawing for turn, drawing Skill Drain, a very annoying card, and that actually takes care of Guardian Chimera. Now, the very bad thing for me is that Skill Drain usually isn't always good in Altergeist. It really depends. If you have Protocol, it's broken because Protocol makes it so your own monsters don't get negated by your own cards. And also, if you have Spoofing, what you can do is like go Silquiltis effect to bounce back, and then chain Spoofing to shuffle back the Silquiltis. So Silquiltis is no longer on the field when it resolves, meaning that it actually dodges Skill Drain that way. Anyways, he's going to be going Spoofing, return back the Multi-Faker, get the Melusig because he's trying to send my Branded Opening, but obviously I'm just going to be chaining because it is a quick play, so summon a Luber, and then get my Search for Branded Fusion. Because of the chain blocking, again, it doesn't matter if my opponent has Solemn Strike. I love this so much. This is one of the best things about Despia. Deadass, the chain blocking makes this deck absolutely broken. Anyways, the Melusig is going to, hit me for that 500. That's fine. Even if a Luber dies, it's not the end of the world. Link Rebo and then Melusig search for the Multi-Faker. Set the Skill Drain and pass turn there. I'm going to be drawing for Ad Libitum. Finally, I can actually start playing now because up until now, it was basically Guardian Chimera control. Now, Branded Fusion is going to be activating its effect. My opponent is going to be chaining Skill Drain. I think this is a little too preemptive to flip the Skill Drain, but it is what it is. Now I'll be going, hold on, I don't use the effect of Lubellion. I sent the Comedy, but I have no intention of using the Comedy right away. You're going to figure out why in a moment. But yeah, my opponent goes summon Multi-Faker and then chain Spoofing. This is the play that I actually talked about. Summon the Melusig, and now I go for Polymerization, fusing for the Edgem Chain, Ad Libitum, and Lubellion, and I'm going to be making Guardian Chimera, Chainlink 1, Guardian Chimera, Chainlink 2, Ad Libitum, revive back the Aluber, Chainlink 3, Despian Comedy, tribute the Guardian Chimera, and my Guardian Chimera will be able to resolve because, again, it is no longer on the field. So my opponent is doing that spicy play where he's resolving multi-faker even under his own skill drain by shuffling back with spoofing. I'm doing a very similar play, dodging the skill drain by tributing my fusion as a cost in order to revive back the Despian Comedy, and that way I get to pop the skill drain with Guardian Chimera's effect, draw 2 card, and then my Looper is going to be able to quote-unquote search, but the second Solemn Strike is unfortunately going to be cucking me here. So again, the reason why these Solemn Strikes couldn't be used before was because of the chain blocking, but now I no longer have to worry about annoying trap cards. Unfortunately, I do not have an engine anymore, so I'm also in a pretty bad position. Conqueror is going to be able to summon itself, negate the comedy and not the Guardian Chimera, and I'm going to be passing turn here. So if he can out a Guardian Chimera, I'm going to be in a little bit of a pickle, but whatever. So I ash the spoofing because that would be a pretty dangerous +1. Don't really want him to get that resource. And he's going to also be able to get the Marionetter access, which means that he can go into Celine, into Access Code, and that would essentially pop my Guardian Chimera. Not fantastic for me at all. So yeah, Access Code is going to be popping right now, and I'm going to be able to, okay, but protecting it with Branded Opening didn't mean anything. I really just wanted him to lose another flavor of a Link monster, but that's about it, because I had 2 Branded Openings in Grave anyway, so I could kind of afford to do that. But yeah, anyways, now I'll be reviving back the Aluber, negate the Access Code Tucker. This is something that I really have to remember when I'm gonna play in real life, because the second effective Aluber is really important. You negate a monster's effect and you revive back the Aluber. You obviously can't search on summon because it's 1 effect per turn and only once that turn, but still really insane. So now I'm going to be drawing for turn Branded Exile. Very fantastic card. Now he's going to be doing the trick with spoofing, but I have Ash for it. So now this is simplified game state against simplified game state, but if anything, I might have the advantage because I have Branded Exile that can be a super poly. So I'm going to be going Exile in order to revive back the Ad Libitum and then make Masquerade against 4,000 life points because he paid multiple times with Solemn Strike and he took a little bit of damage. So he's only allowed to use, I believe, what, 6 effects? That would be a 3,600 payment. And then the 7th effect will just no longer be legal because he won't have the resource to pay it. Anyways, the Ad Libitum is going to be reviving back the Guardian Chimera. The reason why he wanted to do that was because it would still maintain its annoying effect of not being targeted by card effects. And again, in this kind of game state, this is one of the most important things ever. Now my opponent is like in the worst position ever. This is ridiculous. He can go spoofing to, you know, put back that protocol, no problem. But you're not doing anything. Like, sure, Melusi can attack me for 500, but every time you want to use an effect, you take the damage, and I don't really care too much. So I'm just going to be reviving back the Aluber anyways. And I can also revive back the Masquerade, so a lot of recursion from the grave. I really like that. Seriously, I think Despia is the kind of deck that in the incorrect hands, it is not a good deck whatsoever, and that's really what I wanted to say when I initially thought that Despia was not a good deck, but that's because most Despia players that I see, they just don't play the deck optimally. But if you really can improve with this deck at your, you know, full potential, this deck is insane. Like, obviously, there is a big difference between me playing Despia and, like, Andres Torres playing Despia. Oh, the guy is so good with the deck. If you're watching this video, by the way, huge shoutouts to you. I know you actually watch some of my videos sometimes. Anyways, drawing for turn Branded in red. I didn't even need that. I feel like I had a 0% chance to lose at this point, and I have Masquerade again. This one is the only one that makes my opponent lose life points because the Masquerade that isn't fusion summoned doesn't have the effect to make your opponent lose 600 life points every time he's trying to use a card effect. So that's going to be way more than enough for game. Even if he had the option to go into Conquery, it wouldn't do anything because he doesn't control any Altergeist monsters. And look at this, man. I have way more than enough damage, so even if the Solemn Strikes were free, I would still be winning this game. Absolute insanity. This deck is just ridiculously fantastic. I can't believe I started off with like a complete garbage hand. Like literally Patchwork with double polymerization, well, 1 polymerization, and then 2 Edgem Chain with Effect Veiler, Charbrigade Mercourier. So like 3 Edgem Chain, 2 poly, and 2 bad cards against 3 extremely powerful counter traps and multi-faker. And I still managed to win. Incredible. So literally one of my best games, if not my camera, if not my best game of all time. And yeah, huge shoutouts to my opponent as well for this incredible game. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.